is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into The Last Word. We are live, as always, every single Monday night, right here on Stadium and all of their platforms, Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, Roku TV. Jason in there. Hello, folks. If you want your voice to be heard, if you want to show up on national television, you can do it right here. Whether you are a premium member, you can do that, or via a super sticker, we will read your opinion as well. Abass, one of our Hall of Fame members, has tonight's live War Room aired yet? Yes, Abass, we tweeted about it. We taped it at 10 p.m. Eastern time, but don't even worry about it. You can watch live next time. You got to follow me on the Twitter. Now, I don't know how she did it, but she did it. I knew it was only a matter of time before your new favorite, Gabby AF, Gabby Laspisa, got this show basically all to herself. Because tonight, Big Tommy C isn't here, but Gabby is. And there she is in all of her glory. Please, Gabby, let the pro wrestling world know, how did you get rid of Big Tommy C?
I mean, I didn't really get rid of him. It was pretty easy. You know, I just mentioned, maybe you want to do this tonight. And he was like, cool. Keep coach to yourself. I'm over it. The way you've been treating him, he's like out. He's not happy with you.
Well, Big Tommy, he had business to attend to tonight.
Yes.
So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to be here for the next hour right here live on Stadium. Thank you to everybody in the chat. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button on the way in. If you're watching on Stadium, we are worldwide, available in over 100 million homes. So, Gabby, we got to start with how Raw started again this afternoon. It was like a 3 or 4 o'clock start. It was in Scotland. Pat McAfee wearing a Scottish kilt. All good. But I felt like I started hitting rewind. I was like, is this? No, he's in a different shirt, but I could have swore this is the exact same promo that I saw to start Raw a week ago with John Cena. Please tell me you saw something in this promo today that took this WrestleMania main event match forward in the storylines for you.
Yeah, I don't think it went 100% forward for me. I mean, Cena's amazing on the mic. It was a great promo. He's angry. He doesn't like you. And I think the best thing he said is that I want to ruin wrestling for you. Guess what, Cena? You're already ruining it for me because I had to watch you align with The Rock and cut this heel promo 2 weeks in a row now, okay? So I don't want you to ruin wrestling for me because you're already pissing me off. And now every week you got to start my show on Raw, a nice little, afternoon, 4 o'clock. I like to say afternoon delight, coach, because it is an afternoon delight for me that I get to watch in the middle of the day. But sure, I think it was funny that he referenced the kid he made famous. He brought up Ric Flair, of course, now, which is going to make some people angry. And he said he wants to ruin wrestling for you. I think he's just kind of saying the same stuff, just with different words, and just still as angry.
That was the part of the promo that I actually liked, because when Cody eventually came out, we saw a fired up Cody, and I know why they do it. They do the full music entrance because it's awesome. And
Right.
They love to hear the crowd go, ah! But sometimes when you hear a guy say, I'm going to take your title and I'm going to ruin wrestling because when I win it, I'm taking it home. And you're going to have to create another toy belt in order to move the company forward. So if I'm Cody, and what did he say, Gabby? He said, I worked my ass off for one chance to wear this belt. And you did 16 times? And you're going to come out here and say, if you beat me at WrestleMania, you're going to take this belt home and retire? That was an interesting bit that I didn't see a lot of play on social media. Do you truly believe, or how are they going to get out of it if Cena wins like I believe that he will? He just said he's going to retire, but we know he's got 7 more months in the retirement tour. So are we talking out of both sides of our mouths here?
I mean, I think that's why he might possibly not win, coach, and Cody might retain. I know everyone is putting all their money on Cena winning, but how much of a heel, honestly, too, by the way, imagine he wins Cena and he's just like, yeah, I got the title. I don't want to keep doing it. That's the biggest heel move of all time. That he's going to be like, I'm not going to fight for it anymore. I'm good. I'm over it. Because that's how I would see him being a heel. He's going to show up every week as champion and be a champion and represent WWE and have matches retaining the championship with all the time he has left. He's not going to do that. That's why I don't know why everybody wants him to win so badly. I don't think it makes sense. I think Cody has got.
Whoa, young lady.
Yeah, you calm down.
I never said I wanted him to win.
Okay.
I said I thought he is going to win.
I don't think so.
Wow, you are fired up tonight. You need all of this airtime all to yourself. It's like you were invented for national TV, by the way.
Tell somebody. Tell someone.
By the way, you're watching Last Word. We are live on Stadium, presented as always by our newest partner at Play Profit X. All you got to do is scan the QR code that's on the screen throughout the show, or go to profitx.co. And every $100 you play with, you get $2 back, win or lose. Just like Cena could possibly do at WrestleMania. See what I did there with that promo? You're welcome, Gabby. That's next level hosting. By the way, I got to ask you this live on the air because I don't feel like you can tell me no if you're in front of 100 million
You're going to
people.
do it again? Okay.
Next week, I have to fly to Orlando for a big. I got a lot of big things going on next week. I feel like I want to put you in the host chair, but I haven't decided yet. What are your thoughts on that?
Why haven't you decided yet is my question.
Well, I don't know if you have the chops. I don't know if you have the chops.
Okay. You're doing the reverse psychology thing because you want me to be like, you don't think I have the chops? Of course I have the chops because of A, B, and C. I'm not going to do that to you. Why don't you ask the people that are listening if they think I can do it and see if they want me to host when you're not.
Okay, that's a very good point. All right, everybody's in the chat.
You want to know why? Because I could be a host and I think like that. But
all
anyway.
right, so if you would like Gabby to host the show next week live here on Stadium, let me know in the chat. Just simply write yes or write no. I'll have intern Dan take all of the numbers, and if you get more yeses than you get no, you get to sit in this chair next week here live for the first time in your life.
Wow.
In front of this big audience. I know it's not interviewing Cody Rhodes, but it's something. It's something.
I'm surprised that you're going to take that risk because it might be my first time, but not my last time.
You think you're going to Wally Pitt me on my own show?
First of all, I don't know what Wally Pitt means. And
you don't know what Wally
because you use that term, 1,000% everyone's going to want me to be the host because who uses that phrase in this day and age?
I want you to look it up. So Wally Pitt famously is a he famously is a baseball he played baseball a long time ago. He came in for a very famous player, and that player never got his spot back. So the term is you got Wally pipped if you lose your role or lose your spot.
Get ready for it. I'm going to Wally Pip your ass, coach.
Well, guess who wasn't ready for anything today? Speaking of getting ready for it, I was ready for potentially Roman Reigns to show up in Scotland. I was ready for Seth Rollins to show up with his bad punches in Scotland. But all we got in addition to the Cody and Cena stuff was a CM Punk promo. Was that enough for you to go, you know what? Yep, he didn't show up on Raw last week. Got him on SmackDown, here on Raw. I'm starting to try and figure out why Triple H and the entire creative team don't find it necessary. With 3.5 weeks left before WrestleMania on, April 20th? So that's basically 4 weeks. Why aren't the biggest stars in both storylines for the main events on all the shows? Why are they not showing up for every show, in your opinion?
So I think we disagree on this because I don't think it's necessary to have them on every single show. I loved the fact that we saw CM Punk because if we get down to it, I think the biggest crowd reaction out of Roman, Punk, and Rollins in that storyline is Punk. I think it should have been Punk last week instead of Rollins. And, I think that was a given because the Rollins reception wasn't as great as we had talked about because Punk is so insanely over and the reaction for Punk brings the house down. I think it makes you want to watch the show more because you don't know if they're going to be on or not. If you're pissed afterwards, then that's kind of what it is, but you're still watching as a viewer from home. But if you're talking about the fan who's buying the ticket in these places, then yes, I would be angry to not see the stars when you're not there all the time. And this is my one chance to see you. Of course I want to see Punk or I want to see these people, but we just talked about Cena and Cody. Cena, major star, Cody, major star. And we kind of saw a repeat of last week, and it didn't really move the story forward. So what was the point?
I guess I agree with you a little bit. By the way, GST Computing says yes to you hosting because he's too scared or she's too scared to say no. I'm not that scary, GST. I'm really not. I'm like a big teddy bear. Just ask Gabby. I'm a big teddy bear. But to me, and maybe I have too much of Vince McMahon and how he wanted things to be done when I was there during the Attitude Era. Because there was no such thing as a part-time superstar.
Right.
And when we went overseas, we would all go over on a big 767. The SmackDown guys would do their 10 days. The Raw guys, we would do our 10 days. And then we'd reconvene and fly back after 10 days. And every house show, every show, the biggest stars were there. They simply were there. And I understand that this is playing to the TV crowd, that Netflix is in 85% of the world. I get all of that. But this is also a live event crowd that waits most of the time 5 to 10 years. Brussels last Monday, Gabby, had never seen the WWE.
Right.
Not one freaking time. Scotland, I went there for a couple of shows. We actually used to visit all of the castles and stuff. Scotland is a very fun country, but they don't get to see the WWE very often. Don't you think that you owe it to them? That part of the reason that you got a $5 billion deal for Netflix is the fact that they air all around the world, and your stars who only go there for these 3 weeks, to me, need to be there for both audiences. I just do.
I get it, but also that Brussels crowd got the first ever Cena heel promo of all time. You know what I'm saying?
But
to
they
start
didn't
the
understand
show.
it. They didn't
Right.
understand it.
Okay, exactly. So they still reacted in the way that they didn't need to understand it because we understood that they knew it watching from home with the FU Cena chants, the way they were chanting for Cody. They didn't need to understand it. So in my eyes, I think they got exactly what they wanted because Cena and Cody is the biggest match heading into WrestleMania right now. That's going to be the main event, I think.
Yep. Night 2,
Easily.
right? It's got to be night 2.
Easily.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is you did get that just because you didn't get Punk, Roman, or Seth, which by the way, you did get Seth. So you're kind of saying, they'd never seen anybody, but like Seth is very much over. Just because we see him all the time doesn't mean like they're maybe not excited to see Seth following that. And now we saw Punk. You can't have all three of them on all the time because we still have these 3 weeks. How much more can they do without it being stale?
And
what are they going to do?
Why can't you have them on the show all the time? Why not?
Because look at what happened tonight. Nothing. It was Cena and Cody with the match I'm most excited to see.
But Gabby, when you buy a ticket, who's your favorite musician by chance? Who's your favorite musician?
I don't know.
Let's say Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Just for the argument, okay? Taylor Swift, and then you've got a
go
second
to a
one.
free
And then you
Taylor
got
Swift
all right.
concert.
You're going to a festival. It's Taylor Swift, it's Carrie Underwood, and it's Beyonce. And you show up, and they go, you know what? Taylor Swift's here tonight, but Beyonce, she's busy. She'll be here next Friday. And Carrie Underwood, yep, she's busy. She'll be here too Friday. No, she'll be on Monday night show. But you paid a ticket to see all of the stars. You wouldn't be ticked off at that? Even if they did nothing but just sing, just be there. You wouldn't be upset?
It's not that if they told me this is what's guaranteed and you're going to see these people and they don't show up, yes, I would be upset. But you are buying these tickets as a fan and you don't know who's going to be there unless they advertise it the day or two before. So you can't be mad when you get the ticket and you're getting what you got the ticket for. It's not like it's in writing that these people have to be there and you're going to be upset. They didn't seem upset.
You seem upset right now. I feel like you're getting a little bit excited.
You brought in Taylor Swift. I can't.
All right. By the way, you are watching The Last Word with Gabby and the Coach. If you're a premium member, we'll read your stuff on the air, or you can do it via a super sticker. Abass, one of our Hall of Fame members, the top level, says it's like they're stalling until they come back to the States or they feel they have done enough already, which is a mistake. Abass, thank you very much. The other thing is, producer man apparently, Gabby, has your back, because he has started a poll, an official poll, whether or not Gabby AF should be hosting next Monday night. And we'll have results of the poll at the end of the show.
I never met a poll that didn't like me. So I don't think it's going to work in your favor, Coach. I don't know why you're laughing. I used to do polls on social media all the time.
I still the cup. We're just getting started.
I'm
Well,
sweating.
next, oh, we're gonna flip the script. It's Gabby. It's the ghost. It's the last word. We are live on Stadium. Come on back. Oh,
Oh,
oh, you degenerates out there watching. Don't forget the poll. Hey, producer man, shake your head if the poll is in the chat on YouTube. Yes? It's in the chat on YouTube. Okay. If you're watching on YouTube, you can vote. And this is a serious one. If she wins, she'll get the host. If not, I'm finding somebody else. So you got to get Gabby if you want her in the host chair. Now, I will say this. I was looking through different topics to talk about during the breaks. And do you know there's a bill on the Senate floor in North Carolina to earmark $500,000 to make an actual wrestling Hall of Fame and call it the Ric Flair Act? What do you think about that?
what? I mean, I think people can. You can kind of make anything happen at this point. I'm sure Ric Flair loves it because how could he not? What do you think? I care more about what you think about this than me, honestly, because I know
Well,
you
I
have
mean,
strong opinions.
people have asked me all the time, Coach, if you got asked to be in the Hall of Fame, da, da, da. And I'm like, do I deserve it? Yeah, I did. I had more jobs in WWE than anybody in the history of the company. But I will say this, there's not an actual Hall of Fame. So there needs to be a Hall of Fame. So if North Carolina would like to build a Hall of Fame, I'm all for it.
Right.
Because right now, without disrespecting, your old friend Bubba, and I think Mickey's in the Hall of Fame, right? Is she
No.
She's not in the Hall of Fame. Okay.
Blasphemy.
Okay.
Should be.
Okay. But to me, they check boxes every year. They go, okay, we need a female, we need this, we need like the natural disasters were announced to be going in. Earthquake and the other dude, seriously? From 1985? And to me, they check boxes. And I say that, but I would never disrespect the likes of Booker T or Ric Flair. I know it means a lot, but I need a brick and mortar Hall of Fame to see their faces, to see what they've done, to be able to walk into a theater. That's what a Hall of Fame is to me. Not just saying I'm a Hall of Famer and there's nothing. That's the problem I have.
I actually agree. I think that's pretty cool to go into a place and almost really be honored in that way and like have people who are over the world like go to it because they have it for so many other big things in the world. Like, why not do it for pro wrestling when we're just as popular, if not more so?
No doubt. Look at you. If you were hosting, you stopped right at the perfect time. We're back live on Stadium in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are live on a Monday night, having a great time with your boy, the coach. This is The Last Word. We are live on Amazon Prime every single Monday night. Now, I'm joined tonight not by Big Tommy C. He is off making $1, but she has taken over the show so much, in fact, that Triple E in the chat says it should also be named Gabby's Behind the Turnbuckle next week. Let's not get over our skis. Let's not get over our skis. All right. Now, there are a lot of things that happened in Raw this afternoon. We've had a few hours to kind of milk it over. And I think it's time for us to very simply flip the script. Oh, thank you, A-Bass. It's Typhoon going in as the natural disasters. Earthquake and Typhoon are going to be Hall of Famers this year. Do you know when they brought the Hall of Fame back, Gabby? It was New York City. We were at our hotel, the Hilton, and it was so long that two of my best friends, the Brooklyn Brawler and a guy named Downtown Bruno, they drank 33 beers during the Hall of Fame ceremony. And they had the beer behind like a curtain. And there was 13 guys. The first guy talked for 33 minutes, and nothing was shorter than that. 7 hours to induct 13 people. It was absolute torture.
That's kind of my nightmare.
It really was. Every bar around our hotel was closed by the time we were done. It was absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. And I think this year, another time for the Hall of Fame, and isn't it going to be on Friday after SmackDown this year?
Yes, at the Fountain Blue.
Where's it gonna? Oh, it's at the Fountain Blue. That's right.
Mhm.
Where's it gonna air at? By the way, is it?
I don't know.
Is it gonna be YouTube?
I have no idea. I'm not
Wow.
100% sure.
The year that Hulk Hogan got inducted, Sylvester Stallone was going to be the one inducting him, and I was the voiceover guy. So I
Mhm.
was sitting backstage next to Vince, and I'd be like, "All right, coming up next, we induct Gabby AF into the WWE Hall of Fame, but still to come, Hulk Hogan." That was me. So Sly Stallone is nowhere to be found, and it's like 10:20, 10:25, 10:35, 10:40, still no Stallone. And Vince is sitting right next to me, Coach, where the F is he? Are you kidding me? This guy's going to big time me. We promoted him forever. What, are you kidding me? Because obviously they were in Rocky 3 together.
Right.
So it's literally in the commercial break before it's supposed to happen. And a limo drives up and Sly Stallone gets out. And all of a sudden he walks up to Vince as if he doesn't have a care in the world. Vince, baby, let's go. Vince is like, hey, man, like you wouldn't have even known Vince was even mad.
Oh my
And then
God.
Sly said, where's my teleprompter? Vince says, we don't use teleprompters. And Sly went out there off the cuff, straight out of the limo, stopped the hug, straight onto the stage, and introduced Hogan just as smooth as you could possibly do it. It was amazing. And I got to watch it all. And I got to announce him too.
That's pretty
Pretty
awesome.
cool. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. But you know what is not awesome?
Tell me.
It is what they are attempting to do with this female division right now and this potential female main event on Monday Night Raw. Because now after Raw, we have a rematch of Rhea and Io Sky, but with the caveat that Bianca Belair will be the guest referee. Do you think, as we flip the script, that they're trying to get out of the situation that they put themselves in?
I think possibly, but where I'm concerned is that there is no winning here in the sense of either outcome. So they had this rematch, Rhea wins, then everything was for nothing because now Io is not in the picture at all. And we're finally going to get Rhea Bianca, which is what we should have been getting from the get go because that story could have sold itself with the history between these two. But now, if Rhea loses, how are we going to move forward with Io and Bianca? Because I'm letting you know right now that is not a sellable match and you need Rhea involved in some way. So are you going to have Bianca get involved again? And now it's, Adam Pearce is going to come out and be like, well, now she definitely was involved. And, we're going to have to make it a triple threat match. Like I think they have to get out of it because there's no way you could go into WrestleMania without having Rhea Ripley part of this match. There's no possible way that makes sense whatsoever. So the flip the script to me, if I was going to make a tweak of anything that happened, is I think the whole debacle that happened tonight shouldn't have happened in the way that it did. And I think if Io was trying to be a real champion and these women were fighting, like, I'm going to take charge. Guess what? We're doing this because I don't care who I'm fighting. I'll fight you both. I'll do whatever I got to do because I'm the champion and I'm not scared and I don't care. And you're two little things slapping each other and you don't care about me, but this is my terms and this is what I want to do. And she's yet to do that. She needs to do that. Otherwise, I want Rhea to squash her next week and I don't want to see her at WrestleMania at all.
I'm really hoping at some point here at BTT, you're going to come out of your shell. At some point, you truly are. In the meantime, I can tell you that the Hall of Fame is airing on Peacock and WWE Socials Friday, April 18th at 1 a.m. Eastern Time. So we'll be watching. We'll talk about it here on the show. It feels like to me, because you've got to be able to connect with the audience. And I know that part of the reasons they do this is they want to have an Asian star, a Japanese star, an English star, a European star. As I said, they like to check boxes. Diversity is a real thing, and as a black man, it is a necessary thing. But sometimes it's not the right play. And Io Sky, to me, does not connect with the audience whatsoever. And Rhea, all you got to do is watch every time her music hits, and it doesn't matter if her voice drives me insane, like it's nails on the chalkboard. That doesn't matter. She is over like Rover. And if you're talking WrestleMania, and this is supposed to be the best of the best, the biggest against the biggest, so why is it that Io is even involved in this discussion? Because Bianca is a former main eventer at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley checks the box of being a main eventer at WrestleMania. So I know that you would say this has all been for naught, but this is about putting the best, biggest matches on the card at Mania. And to me, that would never, ever involve Io Sky. So you just got to do it and you got to move on. And I think that they will. But the question is, will Bianca actually count to 3? Because if we're talking realism, that Vince Russo teaches us all the time. Is there a world, Gabby, that would ever happen that Bianca would want to face Rhea Ripley
Right.
instead of Io Sky?
Well, and that's the thing is what's clear is Bianca does not want to face Rhea because that's why the two of them are fighting so much. And that's where I would have wanted to see something different. Like tonight, if Bianca was like, yeah, you know what, Rhea, good try. You try. But Adam Pearce said, it's not happening. It's not happening. And then how cool would it have been if Io was like, you know what, Rhea, because by the way, when Io won, it's because Rhea said, I'm sorry that I distracted on your match or something. I'm going to give you a title match with me. So guess what, Io? If you said, I'm not scared, I don't care who it is because I'm the champion, I'm going to win anyway. And she says like, oh, you know what? I'll give it back to you. Let's have a rematch, whatever. And have Bianca like freak out. And now Bianca's kind of looking like, oh, I didn't want, to possibly face Rhea. It makes Bianca look a little bit weaker. It makes Io look like an uber babyface because she's giving the crowd what they want with Rhea. And it makes people think like, oh, Io's a badass and she doesn't care. And she'll take Rhea on because she's not scared of anybody. Like, and now if the distraction happens with Bianca as the referee, it's not Io's fault. Io was just there and was confident enough that she could do it, but Bianca's the one who got involved because she didn't want to face Rhea. And it makes Io come out looking like a rose, smelling like a rose. That's like the line for it. And looking like a champion, which I haven't seen her do yet.
No, I agree with that. So we'll see. We were playing Flip the Script. This is the last word. We are live on Stadium and all of their networks, Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV. She is Gabby. I am the coach. Big Tommy is on assignment tonight. He's out there making $1. Now, a certified G premium member here at BTT says, would The Rock be on Triple H's induction since they are the best of pals? Clearly, Gabby, certified G, watched the Coach and Bro show earlier today.
Oh.
And I enlightened the audience on how, to this day, the hatred between these two, I don't care what you watch in Rivals, I don't care what you watch in Legends, Triple H is envious of The Rock, has always been envious of The Rock. I was there for his movie premiere when Stephanie says, let's have a toast to the first major motion picture for Paul. Blade 3, by the way. The first of many. I was sitting there with Trish Stratus. It was at the Needle in Toronto. And I remember looking at Trish and I said to her, this is worth every moment that I've wasted tonight traveling to Toronto for this debut for Blade 3. He wanted to follow in the footsteps of John Cena and The Rock. That is fact. And I can't hardly blame him. He's had a great career.
Right.
It just hasn't been as big as John Cena and Triple H. But he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Can you imagine? If he does have Rock induct him, there's no way. I think it's going to be Ric Flair. What do you think?
I think it would be Ric Flair as well, but it would be epic if it was The Rock. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, my God. And he would probably put himself over in the process.
Yes.
Yeah, Brian would write it for him. Oh, my
100%.
gosh. That'd be amazing. I allowed him to win 14. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm The Rock, and I can do whatever I want because I'm The Rock. And I'm cool because I'm The Rock. Just Moana 3 coming out this week. I haven't seen Moana, by the way, because I'm loyal to Cody Rhodes and I won't do that.
You've never seen Moana 1 or 2?
No, I have not. What about
it? What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they're... Oh, Abas says, how about HBK maybe? You know what? HBK and The Undertaker did surprise Triple H at the WWE headquarters when they announced it. And Triple H got all emotional. And I remember saying to myself, did he get this emotional the other, 2-3 times that he got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? I can't remember. But he got in with Evolution. He got in with DX. I mean, how many times does he got to get in? That's my question. Is that being catty? Is that being shady on my part?
Probably a little bit, but that's what you do, so...
It's kind of my role.
Is
it? It is. It is on this show.
That's true.
All right, still to come on the other side of the bottom of the hour. We're having a great time, me and Gabby, tonight. It is The Undertaker's birthday. Yeah. So we are going to count down 3 of the greatest moments in the history of The Undertaker. And then we're going to give you our favorite moments in the history of The Undertaker. Yes, Marcus, I see you. How many times is crazy? Hey, if I could reach around and pat myself on the back as many times as they have, I would probably do it too. I absolutely would. So I need you, Gabby, to sit there and start thinking, what's your favorite Undertaker moment? Because right now he's the star of, what is it, LFG on A&E with your girl, Mickey James, AMESIC. See what I did there? Put it all together. It just feels right. And that's coming up after we take a quick break here on Stadium. The Undertaker, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. It's the last word on Stadium. It's true. We're back. All right. Did you like that? It's also Barry Horowitz's birthday. Do you know who Barry Horowitz is?
No.
Oh, my God. All right. Back in the day before you were born, there was wrestling on like a thing called UHF, like Channel 67 Saturday morning wrestling.
Yeah.
And there were always the losers, always the guys that came in and you knew they were going to lose to like Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, guys like that.
Is that the J word that we're not allowed to talk about?
The jobber?
Yeah.
Yeah. Barry Horowitz was the classic jobber every Saturday morning. If Barry came out, you knew he was going to lose. But you know who else has kind of been losing in their quest to be noticed in this world by a big-time WWE superstar? You. And I saw this on social media the other day, and I thought of you because you love yourself some Randy Orton. And so I want you to take through what happened here because I don't quite understand it, but it's gotten like millions and millions of views. What's going on here?
So this girl on social media, and I'm going to say her name. I think it's Brega. I don't know. I'm not sure. She just posted that someone replied to like her story in the DMs on social media and said like, I'd arm wrestle a bear for your number. Then no response to that. Then he took it up a notch and he said, I'd fight 09 Randy Orton for your number. She posted this on her social media, I guess to be funny or just show like, oh, she captioned it, bro is not getting my number with like a crying, laughing face emoji.
Okay.
Randy Orton gets Randy Orton's attention.
No, he didn't.
It did. You could see it on that little retweet thing.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now.
Because Randy Orton, first of all, her putting that out there, 41 million views.
Oh my God.
41 million.
Okay.
To Randy Orton, quote captioning it, saying, bro really willing to risk it all for you. To then WWE retweeting that, saying, Randy Orton, life coach. Here's my thing, coach. Good for this girl. You
got 10 seconds.
Okay, I got 10 seconds. Good for this girl. She's gotten a lot of, like, she's all hyped up about it. Do you know how many guys that I tell Randy Orton's my number one that say they want to fight Randy Orton for me and I never once bring it to social media and I never get Randy Orton's attention about it? I deserve that attention.
We're back in 3 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're having a great time every Monday night. Thank you so much for finding us here on Stadium and all of their platforms, Amazon Prime, DirecTV, YouTube TV. We're just past the bottom of the hour. If you are watching us on demand, thank you very much for that. If you're watching us on YouTube and you want your voice to be heard, you can do it by becoming a premium member, or you can leave us a super sticker as well. Tonight, it's me and my girl, Gabby AF, Gabby Laspisa, who's becoming an unbelievable crowd favorite. We do have a poll in the chat that if you would like Gabby to host next week in place of me, vote, and we will have the results at the end of the show. Now, there was no disputing when I was in the WWE during the Attitude Era, it was the best time, first and foremost. And the man who ran the locker room was none other than The Undertaker. There was no disputing. He had some of the great moments in the history of the business. So we thought today, on his birthday, we would count down 3 of the absolute very best. Producer man, roll tape. How cool was the music? A-Bass, you are right. That was classic Undertaker. Paul Bearer, rest his soul. Boy, The Undertaker had perhaps the longest, greatest, certainly the greatest WrestleMania career, Gabby, that's ever been seen. And all the different ways that he went about his career. He was I was honored to be there for 10 plus years with him. I can say that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a name that people like I said, my friends aren't fans of pro wrestling. Everybody knows who the Undertaker is. Everybody talks about the Undertaker. Literally, my friend today was like, "It's my dog's birthday," and he shares it with the Undertaker, and she doesn't watch wrestling. Like that's who he is. What he did in history is just a phenomenal thing, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see him on LFG now, being himself or
Yeah.
being that person because it's such a different thing. And he does his podcast and he does those shows and stuff. So like, how much he's elevated the business is it's an amazing thing.
A couple of things. So people underestimate where and what Big Tommy C has done. If we had more cutarounds of the Mick Foley off the top of the cell, Tommy was at ringside. He was the stage manager that night. It was right there. Mick Foley fell right in front of him.
Yeah,
That was Big Tommy C. And the story goes that Mick Foley told Undertaker, either you throw me off or I'm jumping. And if I jump, we're both going to look like idiots. And that's the only way the Undertaker would throw him off to go through the announce table, which I was there when Shane went off the top of the cell. You got to have, as the movie says, balls as big as church bells, baby. And I'm telling you right now, to go off the top, Mick Foley, legendary, he knew what he was. He wasn't a great athlete, but him and the Undertaker had this remarkable chemistry. And that to me, that's the most iconic image in the history of the Undertaker, is throwing Mick Foley off the top of the cage.
It's crazy because I wasn't even watching wrestling at that time, and I know that moment because I've seen it so many times, and that's how you know it transcends past being a diehard fan or just like a casual fan, because people have seen that without knowing the exact time or moment. It doesn't matter. Like it's such an epic moment, and that's a cool story. And honestly, I wish Tommy was here to talk about it, but
I know. By the way, I normally don't address negative comments in the chat, but Iconic One says Undertaker was a bully. No one wants to talk about that. I was around him for 11 years. He absolutely was not. What he was a very serious person. And he took the business very seriously, just like Stone Cold Steve Austin did. And I remember when Stone Cold, a couple of times, when they would bring new guys in for the business, most of the time it was announcers that they would bring in because wrestlers worked their way up through Ohio Valley or whatever, and they really respected the business. They would bring in announcers from the outside world. And thank God I had five or 6 months that I traveled before I was ever on the air. So I just kept my mouth shut and I learned. But if Stone Cold ever heard somebody say, this is fake, or it doesn't hurt, or it's not that, he would lose it, because to Stone Cold and The Undertaker, this business, Gabby, in their worlds, it was everything. They literally put their bodies on the line every time. Russo told this incredible story today on the show that when he was writing for Undertaker, he'd go out and main event every night. And you got to keep in mind, they were also doing 3 house show nights a week and Raw or SmackDown. So 4 matches. And then he'd go over to some crazy remote place in the arena and have to get worked on just to be able to take a shower, get in the car, and drive to the next town. People don't understand what he went through.
I think it's a different world now too, and I think that's why that show LFG. Because I don't know if you've been watching it, but like
I have been, yes.
Yeah, and like I think it's amazing to see these people talking to these young talents, because I feel like it's almost like a lost art in that time of pro wrestling, because it's very different now, and I think a lot of those values and a lot of the ethic that they put into it, they're trying to bring back with these kinds of shows, because I think we live in a time where, things are very, very different than even you as a veteran in it. You know what I mean? When you were there and the things that you had to deal with, like it's just maybe it's a little bit easier now.
There's no question it's easier now than when I was there during the Attitude Era.
Right.
It was much more competitive back then. And when I use the word competitive, think about the likes of guys that are at the Undertaker's level. Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys. I know I'm missing a bunch of guys. And when you're talking about WrestleMania, which he was a part of over 20, we're talking about bonuses in the main event of $1 million if you got in that main event. So when I hear people say, "Oh, coach, nobody competed for the top spot," really? If you had a job, Gabby, and one of the jobs was paying you $1 million, and the next one down was paying you half a million, the next one down was paying you 250, would that be a competition?
Of course.
Of course it would. But they think since the matches are choreographed, the matches are predetermined, that those guys didn't compete. That's why everything was so great back then,
Yeah.
because they did compete and they all wanted that top spot. And they were pissed off when Rock, Hunter, Taker, when they would walk in the building from start to finish, they were meeting with merch. Undertaker was getting body worked on. It was all leading up to 7:30, 7:45 to be ready for Raw at 8 o'clock. Because when that music hit, it was amazing. The energy. We were sold out. For my first 3 years, sold out every place we went. We partied every night. Even The Undertaker. And I heard you say you were surprised that he's willing to do what he's doing now. I'm a little surprised because back then, he was The Undertaker 24/7.
Mm.
He lived the gimmick
Yeah.
because he had to, Gabby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was a character that people believed in.
Yeah. I think what's crazy too, coach, is like, are there now young stars that are going to be at the level of those people that you just listed? The Undertakers,
Mm.
the Stone Cold Steve Austins, the Triple H's. Like, are we in that era now, or is that not even happening?
I don't think they understand how to do it. I
Mm,
really don't. I think you have a few. I think Cody is
yeah,
amazing when it comes to character development. I think Roman Reigns, if people remember where he was 10 years ago to where he is now,
right,
I think, but to be able to develop a character and have levels to it, and then have casket matches, to then have
right.
the fire and the flames and the manager and everything that they developed with them, that's the Undertaker, the writing staff, Vince, all working in unison to create one of the great characters of all time. And you can go right down the list. I think now with social media, a lot of these talents are like,
Mm,
man, if I can get in a main event once or twice every couple of months, I'm good. And they don't think about developing a character that has depth, that can
right.
go 1,000 different directions, which then gives you longevity in your career.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's actually like something that I think about all the time because I'm like, when we're far past this, because I'm a young fan, or these young fans that watch it, when we're far past these eras where we can't rely on these guys to come back, are we going to be calling up that next generation to come back for it to be a big deal? The Rocks, the Cenas, when they're all gone in 10, 20 years, when Cody's done, is it going to be a big deal if Cody comes back? You know what I'm saying? To beat up this big guy and do this turn, like if it was a different world, right? And Cody's a super baby face, and I'm just talking like 10, 15 years from now, and you have the big champion that is Cody. For Cody to do a heel turn, is it gonna be as epic as what's going on with Cena, or is that generation not even gonna hit that level? It's
It,
interesting.
to me, it's flip a coin. It's a
Yeah,
flip of a coin because and I don't even like to put myself over, but I will. Is that you've got to learn how to sell your character. I
yeah,
became a heel that a lot of the boys were pissed off at me because I would come out and get a much bigger reaction than they ever dreamed about
mhm,
because I was able to channel within myself what I used to call heel coach. And I thought heel coach was awesome. Heel
right,
coach was nasty. Heel coach could talk. And then you walk out and the coach was cool. But I had two different personas and I could snap in and out of both of them.
yeah,
Most people now, they get so caught up in their heads of I don't want to get in trouble. I want to respect the business. I would tell all of them, just like we've seen on that show, tell me something I can believe in, but then take it to a next level and a next level. The work in the ring is only a percentage, Gabby, of
right.
what they need to do to get to where a lot of these legends ended up.
I agree. And you mentioned social media. And I think that has a huge role in it
Oh,
as well. But I wish they would take the social media and use it in a positive way, in the sense of like, you can reach so many more people now if you do it the right way, as opposed to using it in a negative way. But that's also hard to do.
no doubt about it. All right. Happy birthday to The Undertaker. Really good discussion. I really enjoyed that a lot. All right. Still to come, we've got the last word. Did you guys see CM Punk get emotional this week? It happened. If you haven't seen it, we're going to show it to you. And Is it cool to see a legend actually understand where he's been? It's the last word. We are live, as always, on Stadium. We continue on here on our YouTube page, Gabby and the Coach. Gabby, we've been talking a lot the last couple of weeks on the Coach and Bro Show and here on the Last Word with you and I, that if you're not going to have a superstar at the event on Raw or SmackDown, it's very easy to pick up a cell phone and tape a video. And Logan Paul did that. He's not about to go overseas. Are you kidding me right now? But to me, I feel like they've been watching us and listening. And why hasn't The Rock done it? I don't know. But you can do it very, very easily. And once again, Logan Paul calls out AJ Styles. And I believe next week, Logan will be in London, correct? Is that what I heard?
That's what we were told. That's what our producer told us. So if it's wrong, it's not us.
It's on producer, man.
It's him. I'm just kidding. But no, listen, Logan Paul, and this is where I'm talking about social media being so important and just so vital in the ways that you can do things without having to physically do them. Logan Paul is a beast on social media. He is someone who's so hated that like he's crushing it as the biggest heel in WWE in my eyes. So why the hell not? You can't be there. Who cares? You cut that video and it's way more over than 99% of the other heel things that I see when they're there. So if you can't do it by doing something like that, it's the smartest way to keep people still talking about it and to keep heat on him while he's not even in the arena.
You best believe he is driving people insane. The biggest heat magnets of all time are part-time talent. They just are. The guys that are out there, and they're changing things, I know, which I disagree with. They're cutting from 300 to 200 live events a year. But when you're out there grinding 4 days a week, driving 200 miles in between house shows, and then you see somebody come in, make far more money than you, right, and not have to grind on I-10 between San Antonio and Abilene, you're pissed. Of course. And that's what Logan Paul's doing.
Yeah, of course. And guess what? He's good at it. He knows how to get you. The way he is, the way he talks, like you can't hate somebody more. And then he shows up in the ring and he's an A+ guy in the ring. So he's got everything that going for him. And he's someone I'm excited to see at WrestleMania because those boos are going to be great.
Oh, and they better pony up because you need him full time after all this is over. Pay that man his money. All right, we're back live on Stadium in just 3 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are live on Stadium and all of their platforms. Having a great time. The chat is popping. Thank you guys very much. Marcus, I see you. Coach's character in that early 2Ks was great. I agree, Marcus. I was great. But it's that time of the show where we throw something into the pot that maybe just doesn't fit anywhere else. We got very creative. We called this, producer man, I believe it's the last word. Now, everybody knows, Gabby, that in an alternate universe, you and Cody Rhodes would be partners. You'd be his valet. You'd travel with him all over the place on his big American Nightmare bus. Respectfully, I might add. Respectfully. Now, part of the reason you're such a Cody Rhodes fan is because he gets it. And he has transformed himself from the AEW outlaw into the babyface, the most marketable person in the WWE. And I saw this video and I got in my own feels, and I know everybody else did, because sometimes when you've had a full circle moment and both Cody Rhodes and CM Punk went to AEW, and you never could have told me, Gabby, that 3 or 4 years ago, we would be sitting here where we are right now. I want to show you this and get your reaction. Check out CM Punk and how emotional he got recently at a live event on this European tour. Producer man, please. With all due respect to Jey Uso, that entrance is the best in the
Oh,
WWE. What do you think was going through the mind of CM Punk to get him so emotional?
I think when you're there, and don't have personal experience, but to be somewhere and you hear that crowd and you're not in the United States anymore and you're like, wow, we hit all over the world, right? We are influencing people everywhere. It's not a small feat. And he's been through it. He's made a lot of choices. I'm sure he regrets a lot of things in his life. I'm sure, you kind of have to sit there and be like, did every choice I make, did I do the right thing? And in that moment, I think he was like, everything I did led me to this moment. And I have no regrets. And I was correct in everything that I did. And how lucky and grateful I am to be here right now.
I think that's very well said. And we used to go to Europe 2 times a year, 10 days at a time. So I spent 20 days a year, 10 years, so well over 200 days of my life. And I wish everybody, and I mean this in all sincerity, I wish everybody could, at some point in their lives, experience something outside of the United States. Because what it does, Gabby, is it makes you feel very, very small. That you're in a place wherever that video was. It was somewhere in Europe. We know that. They were in Scotland today. But when you hear of these places and you see these places, you can't physically in your mind imagine being there. It's so far away from where we are. So I think for CM Punk, exactly what you just said. He said to himself, man, 12 years ago or whatever it was, I thought I burnt this bridge. I never thought I would feel this feeling. And I also wish that fans who watch this sport, watch this business, watch sports entertainment just for one time, Gabby, just once, could they feel what it's like inside the body when you're out there. And it only happened to me a few times, like really felt it. But I'm so grateful that I did, because those crowds that never get to see us, that never get to experience us, and they see you for the first time. I even had people, Gabby, and I know it's hard to believe, that would meet me. I met a kid from Japan one time. Japan. And he comes up and he says to me, IU, IU, IU. And I was like, IU? What's he talking about? Indiana University? He was the interpreter for my shows that went to Tokyo, that he would do the Japanese for my English words. So I met my coach, my Japanese coach, essentially.
That's crazy.
Is that crazy?
It's crazy.
And then all of a sudden I'm getting emotional. I'm like, this kid's excited to meet me. He watches me every week. He interprets what I say, and then he does the Japanese version. That makes you feel very, very small. And I think that's what CM Punk was all about. Because he probably, wouldn't you agree that CM Punk, more than any other superstar in the history of the business, probably lost more money because of inaction.
Right.
And then lost more star power, whatever you want to say, because of all the things he decided to do.
Right. And I think for someone to get that emotional in a moment, it's because he's been to rock bottom before, where he didn't think he would ever see a moment like that for himself.
Yes.
Or you don't
Yes.
believe it, that it's going to happen. So when it does, you're so overwhelmed with emotion that that's the only way you can react to it. And he's had this incredible career, and he's made these choices, and these things have happened, and he's had bad times too. But you're in that moment and you're like, I never thought I'd be here. And now I'm here, and I can't even not express it by crying. And it's a beautiful thing. And hopefully everyone at some point gets that in their life, but they don't. And that's also why you cry, because you're very lucky to get to experience it.
There was a time, and I'm sure I've told on the show, I'm not sure here before, but when I became a character and stopped being an announcer, it was hard, and I had to learn how to work and all this kind of stuff. And when I was in this program with a character called Eugene, he was kind of like a special character, kind of like Rain Man, only wanted to make friends. And I spent 6 months doing skits where I would look like a fool every single week, and Eugene would make friends with all of his favorite superstars that he grew up watching. It would never fly today. I thought it was a beautiful storyline back then. We're going to be in San Diego. And I remember getting a call from the office saying, hey, coach, we just got a call from The Rock. He wants to know if you're cool with this. He wants to be a part of what you and Eugene are doing, because Eugene's never met The Rock, right? Storyline-wise.
Right.
So we were in San Diego. And they actually asked me, are you cool with it? Am I cool with doing something with The Rock? Yeah, I think I'm cool with it. And we snuck him in a car. This is how seriously he took it. Snuck him in a car. Todd Grisham, who started the here comes Eugene. My music interrupts. I come down. I kick my best friend Todd Grisham out. I berate the Eugene. He backs up the ramp. This is a 25-minute segment on YouTube if anybody ever wants to go and watch it. And as soon as he backs up, they hit The Rock's music, and The Rock comes out, and it's the only time in my entire career I broke character. Luckily, the camera wasn't on me because The Rock came out, blue and white sweatshirt. Literally, I remember saying to myself, this man is not built like the rest of us. He's different. He's special. God spent a little bit more time on this man than he did on the rest of us. And then he walks down. It was the first time that The Rock and Vince ever let me berate The Rock and insult him back in my career. That was a really big deal for me.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing the crowd, and I'm saying to myself, how did I get here? How did I get here?
Yeah.
It was the best moment of my career. Hands down, bar none. Bar none.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a really cool story.
Yeah, it was fantastic. All right, we've got about a minute left, so as we look forward to SmackDown this week and then Raw next week, I believe in London, what are you expecting? What are you looking forward to? About 45 seconds.
I mean, I want to see something different between Cena and Cody moving forward. Just, I don't know if we're going to see them on SmackDown or not. Obviously, we don't know. But if they're going to do the same song and dance every single day before leading up to it, I'm kind of getting it bored. I think that I would like to see Roman at SmackDown this week. I think we need to. We've seen Punk. We've seen Rollins. I need to see Roman. And I want to see Roman because I want to know what he has to say about everything.
I also want to know how Paul is going to play a role in this, and if he's going to end up with somebody afterwards. But I also thought about this today. We were talking about it on the Coach and Bro show. To me, to really make this pay off, I want to see Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania come in and absolutely shred this entire threesome and leave them all laying, and Paul Heyman leaves with Brock. That's what I want to see, and we'll see.
I wouldn't like that.
All right, producer man, what did our poll say? Does Gabby get to host next week? Oh, it's a thumbs up. Okay, next week live right here on Stadium. Gabby AF will be in the host chair. Be very kind. Be very gentle. And thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's Gabby, it's the coach, producer man, intern Dan. We're live as always. Last word on Stadium. Have a great night.
The following announcement has been paid for by Behind the Turnbuckle Plus, the new pod order. BTT Plus. Yeah, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Plus. Oh, it's extra content right here, chicos. Think about it. BTT Plus, taking over the pod game. Live Q&As, watch-alongs, new shows. BT. Is that okay, Big Tommy? Enter the war room, turnbuckle style. Plus, it's the new way. We call it BTT Plus. The genesis has begun. The beginning of the new pod or BTT. Everybody wants to know what to do next. Well, just scan the code. The pod revolution starts now. The preceding announcement has been paid for by Behind the Turnbuckle Plus, new pod order.